Welcome to today's news conference. My name is Erik Beckman and I am your moderator today. We're happy to be live in Helsinki with Erik Olsson, the CEO of Aliaxis, Kati ter Horst, Divisional CEO EMEA of Aliaxis, and Koen Sticker, CFO of Aliaxis. Today's session will last an hour, including a Q&A session at the end. Please send your questions at any time through the Q&A button on the right-hand side of your screen. The questions can be asked either in English or in Finnish. This news conference will be recorded and the recording will be available later today on potentialoffer.aliaxis.com. Without further ado, I will now leave the floor to Erik Olsson, CEO of Aliaxis. Please welcome Erik and your team.
Thank you very much, Erik. And thank you, and good morning, everyone. I'm really glad to be with you here in Helsinki today to present our potential offer for Uponor. I am Erik Olsson, the CEO of Aliaxis. Aliaxis is a global leader in fluid management solutions, headquartered in Brussels and operating around the world. I'm here today with Kati ter Horst, who is our Divisional CEO for EMEA. You may also be familiar with her as she has a well-established professional track record here in Finland. I'm also joined by Koen Sticker, our CFO, just next to me. You'll hear from both Koen and Kati later on. This morning we disclosed that Aliaxis now owns just over 5% of Uponor's shares. And in line with Finnish legal requirements, we are now making our ownership public. Today's announcement reflects our desire to be fully transparent. The announcement is closely aligned with our Growth with Purpose strategy at Aliaxis, and we will explain how we believe this potential offer could create significant value for shareholders and accelerate our impact in the face of increased challenges around water scarcity. Uponor is a group we know well and respect, with a solid management team and a long history. Like us, they have a deep knowledge of what it takes to offer the best possible water management solutions for the benefit of clients and communities around the world. Today we will talk to you about these two groups, Aliaxis and Uponor, who are highly complementary and have a lot in common. We firmly believe that a combination of Uponor and Aliaxis would create value now for all stakeholders and create a world leader structured to bring solutions to the world's water challenges. Our potential offer is about growth with purpose, scale, innovation, smart fluid management solutions, and a long-term focus for the benefit of all stakeholders. We actually have a lot in common, Aliaxis and Uponor, starting with a shared European heritage, with a history of family ownership, a long-term focus, and a commitment to reach ambitious sustainability objectives. We are also highly complementary operationally. Our combined geographic footprint and product offering would provide significant cross-selling opportunities. Our group headquarters is in Europe, just like Uponor's headquarters, and while Uponor's European operations are predominantly in the Nordics and Eastern Europe, Aliaxis operates more in Western and Southern Europe. We're also complementary in terms of products. Uponor has deep expertise in the building segment with the hot and cold offerings and in surface heating and cooling, while we offer other fluid management solutions to the building segment, and we're also active in the infrastructure, industry, and agriculture segments as well. Earlier today, we disclosed we now own over 5% of Uponor's shares, and we chose to make our intention public to be transparent. Our all-cash indicative offer of 25 euros per share implies a very strong premium of 50.2% compared to the closing price of 16.64 of Uponor on the 13th of April, last Thursday, which was the unaffected price on Thursday evening prior to Aliaxis reaching a 5% stake in Uponor. This is also significantly higher when compared to the last 52-week high with a premium of 31.6%. It's an opportunity for Uponor shareholders to maximize value at an attractive premium while de-risking their investment as a US housing downturn looms and the European outlook remains difficult. So why do I speak of de-risked value to Uponor shareholders? Despite all of Uponor's strengths, a housing downturn is already underway in North America. It is happening, and it will likely disproportionately impact Uponor given their exposure to new home builders. As well, the global macroeconomic outlook certainly comes with many important risks for Uponor. Aliaxis is more diversified geographically and by segment. This is an opportunity for Uponor shareholders to take a full de-risked value. We believe our offer is compelling for all Uponor shareholders. And today, by choosing to communicate publicly, we are looking forward to entering into a constructive dialogue with the board of directors of Uponor to discuss the potential combination of our two groups. We came in person to Helsinki today because as a shareholder of Uponor, we favor a transparent and constructive dialogue with the board of Uponor and to address Uponor shareholders directly in order to be in a position to confirm our intention in the coming weeks. I will come back later to present what a potential combination may look like later. But for now, I'd like to let Kati Terhorst, our divisional CEO for EMEA, walk you through Aliaxis.
Thank you, Erik, and very good morning to all of you. Olen itse suomalainen ja minulla on pitkä kansainvälinen ura Stora Ensossa, josta 8 vuotta johtoryhmässä ennen kuin tulin Aliaxikseen viime vuonna. Olen myös ollut Outokummun hallituksen vuodesta 2016. For those who don't speak Finnish, I'm a Finn myself and I've had a long international career at Stora Enso, of which the 8 last years in the executive committee before joining Aliaxis. And I have also been in Outokumpu board since 2016. So I joined Aliaxis in October 2022 because I felt very strongly connected to the company's purpose, which is to bring solutions to the world's water challenges and accelerate the transition to clean energy. Our growth with purpose strategy that Erik mentioned, launched back in 2021, has sustainability and innovation at its heart and is focused on taking immediate action up to 2025, including doubling our EBITDA between 2020 and 2025. We are well on track on this, as you will see shortly. We have set ourselves ambitious targets focused on creating value in operating sustainably and bringing game-changing water and clean energy solutions to our customers at greater speed. As one of the most international companies in our sector, we have the scale and the local market knowledge to have a real impact. Aliaxis has a long-standing and unique history that has seen a Belgium-based family business grow into multinational, operating in over 40 countries. We have over 15,000 people. Our 2022 revenue was 4.3 billion, and we are leading the industry in performance. We have strong local brands and benefit from well-balanced exposure across attractive end markets. Globally, our sustainable and innovative solutions are used for building, infrastructure, industrial and agricultural applications. And in our way of working, we constantly anticipate the fast-changing needs of our customers in a society with growing environmental concerns. Then, despite the challenging economic environment, our global financial results have been solid year on year, We continue to hold leading positions in nearly all of the markets, thanks to our strong brand portfolio. Now let me tell you more about our operations in Europe. I oversee 22 production facilities, accounting for about a quarter of Aliaxis' total revenues, with 4,500 employees just here in Europe. In the past 12 months, European businesses have faced geopolitical tensions. I think of the invasion in Ukraine by Russia. There have also been global supply chain issues, financial market volatility, and in our sector, the drop in demand for residential construction in both the United States and Europe, in a high interest rate and high inflation environment. In 2022, we continued on our growth path following our record performance achieved in 2021, especially in the Americas. Our group EBITDA grew from an average of 450 million between the years 2016 and 2020 to 674 million in 2021. And last year, we reached 728 million, an increase of 8%. Our EBITDA margin has remained above 15% for the third consecutive year. As a privately held company with a family reference shareholder, Aliaxis has a strong competitive advantage: its ability to create long-lasting value while making a meaningful impact on sustainability. I joined Aliaxis with a conviction to make a difference around water. And every day, with the support of our teams in Europe and around the world, we see how our scale enables us to make a difference when bringing safe water solutions where they are needed. Erik will now tell you more about our proposed combination.
Great. Thank you very much, Keti. Even though we have been faced with a challenging economic environment, our strong balance sheet at Aliaxis, industrial know-how, attractive local brands, and global footprint have enabled us to perform well while advancing our strategic roadmap globally. Our international management team, some of whom are with me here today, have an impressive track record and have demonstrated its ability to adapt to a challenging environment while continuing to deliver an industry-leading performance. Uponor as well also has a solid team and high-quality products. We firmly believe that a potential combination of our two firms would be mutually beneficial. In fact, we made contact with Uponor's board several times before, yet our conversations have not yet made the expected progress. We came in person here today to invite the board of directors of Uponor and all shareholders to seize the opportunity we are offering and, together, build a future-ready platform providing high-quality products globally, which are addressing the world's challenges around water head-on. At the moment, and despite strong market positions, great brand recognition, and achievements in sustainability, we consider that Uponor is at a crossroads. As a medium-sized player, it's hard to fully leverage the value of its assets in a sector in need of significant investment and innovation. Together with Aliaxis, Uponor would reach critical mass instantly by accessing a much wider playing field in terms of products, geographies, and scale in R&D. Given the macroeconomic challenges ahead in the US regarding home building and in Europe regarding energy, inflation, geopolitical instability, and others, Uponor as a standalone company is more vulnerable than it would be with Aliaxis. Just for an example of this, in the years 2022 and 23, Aliaxis will invest approximately 700 million euros in CapEx. Actually, it'll be a bit more. 700 million euros in CapEx, 22-23, to expand production capacities, meet customer needs, and accelerate innovation. Based on analyst estimates, Uponor will invest approximately 100 million in the same period. Today's intention release shows that Aliaxis is prepared to proceed with the potential all-cash offer on the basis that our conditions for launching an offer are met, and we are prepared to complete the potential offer if we can reach an acceptance threshold of over 60% of the outstanding shares in Uponor. Given the complementary market positions and limited overlap of Aliaxis and Uponor, we expect synergies would be achieved mainly through cross-selling. Most of these synergies can be delivered even if Aliaxis does not reach 100% ownership. This is fully reflected in our potential offer. As mentioned, together with Uponor, we would create a global leader in water management solutions. Aliaxis and Uponor are a great match, and together could truly become a highly competitive combination to raise the stakes and confront the world's water challenges. First of all, we both have sustainability at the core of who we are. Second, as I mentioned, we are highly complementary in many areas in terms of geographies, products, and route to market. For geographies, we have very limited overlaps, and we're complementary where we have overlaps in the US, Spain, Germany, Poland, and Switzerland, since we actually focus on different segments in those markets where we have overlaps. And in all the other countries are, for the most part, either new to Aliaxis or new to Uponor, which provide a lot of growth potential for both companies' product lines. Products and solutions is another area of good fit. I'll come back to that on the next slide. And route to market, we are also very complementary. Uponor excels at specification sales, whereas our approach excels with partnering with distributors. A third area to consider, we have identified a number of synergies which are predominantly revenue growth oriented through cross-selling and having a more comprehensive overall product offering. Fourth, we would create a leading platform at scale to tackle head-on the world's water challenges. Fifth, in our industry, the winners are those who can best innovate. And we would have increased scale to really accelerate innovation and launch new sustainable solutions faster. And last, we are in a world where the best talent is more scarce than ever. Having a leading platform worldwide solving the world's water challenges positions us to attract and retain the best people. Let's now have a look at our product solution fit, which is a key element of the potential combination. In North America, while Aliaxis is present in multiple segments, Uponor is solely present in the housing segment with expert solutions mostly in hot and cold water. In Europe, we have a complementary offer. Uponor is well positioned in hot and cold and surface heating and cooling segments, while Aliaxis provides reliable and easy to install soil and waste, as well as roof drainage, sanitary, and ventilation solutions. In Europe, our solutions are also used in a wide range of infrastructure and industrial applications. I'll now ask Koen Sticker, our CFO, to provide more details on the financial rationale for our potential offer. Over to you, Koen.
Thank you, Eric, and good morning, everyone. Aliaxis is both much larger in size and faster growing compared to Uponor. In 2022, Aliaxis continued to grow significantly, reaching revenue of 4.3 billion. After growing by more than 26% in 2021, Aliaxis delivered revenue growth of 18% in 2022. Uponor's top line, on the other hand, grew by 6% in 2022 to reach 1.4 billion. Aliaxis also maintained industry-leading EBITDA margin of 16.8% in 2022 and delivered significant EBITDA growth of more than 8%. Actually, over the past 4 years, our compound annual growth rate was higher than that of Uponor. Aliaxis achieved a higher CAGR of 11.7% in revenue compared to Uponor's 7.9%. Similarly, in terms of EBITDA, we reached a CAGR of 18.4% compared to Uponor's CAGR of 12.9%. This demonstrates that Aliaxis has been able to continue to improve its operating efficiency, growth, and profitability more quickly than Uponor. This is not to say that Uponor has performed poorly. However, given its limited size and scope, its growth prospects are more limited. As part of our ambitious strategic plan, we are also investing significantly in our future. Our 2022 CapEx of 317 million will further increase substantially in 2023, demonstrating our commitment to continuously invest to bring smart solutions to market faster. And as Eric mentioned, our expected CapEx investment in 2022 and 2023 is about 7 times the expected level of Uponor. Our highly attractive indicative offer price of 25 euro in cash per share would value Uponor's total equity at approximately 1.8 billion. This indicative offer implies a very strong premium of 50.2% compared to the closing price of Uponor on the 13th of April of 2023, which is the unaffected price on Thursday evening prior to Aliaxis reaching a 5% stake in Uponor. This is also significantly higher when compared to the last 52-week high, with a premium of 31.6%. And compared to the volume-weighted average trading price over the last 3 and 6 months, the premium amounts to 44.5% and 54.7% respectively. In addition, our indicative offer per share is also significantly higher than analyst consensus of 18 euro per share. Actually, since Uponor's Capital Markets Day back in March 2022, Uponor's financial performance was below expectation, and analyst consensus is significantly below last year. This is predominantly explained by the reliance of Uponor on the housing market, both in the US and Europe. Now, turning back on our potential offer, it would value Uponor at approximately 1.8 billion. This is a significantly higher premium compared to market average in Finland and the Nordics in general, and it incorporates our understanding of Uponor's business and development potential, as well as identified industrial synergies achievable in the medium term through a combination of our two businesses. Most of these synergies mainly arise from cross-selling opportunities, given the complementary nature of our activities, and we can actually achieve these without achieving 100% ownership. As a result, we have been able to include the benefits of these identified synergies into our indicative offer price, which helps making it highly attractive for all shareholders. Finally, should we decide to launch an offer for the benefit of all of Uponor shareholders, we are prepared to finance this potential acquisition with a mix of Aliaxis' own cash and external financing, and therefore the potential offer would not be conditional on the availability of financing.
Thank you, Koen. As you can see, our approach is straightforward, and so are we. We believe in transparency. The combination of Uponor and Aliaxis is a highly compelling natural fit that is in the best interest of all stakeholders. Let's look at them. For all of Uponor's shareholders, this would be a transaction that fully values Uponor for the great company that it is and the solid management team that's in place. It's a very attractive indicative price with a significant premium against any measure you would look at. It de-risks shareholder investment, which is threatened by the economic context, and it puts Uponor in the hands of a company that values both the capabilities of Uponor and has a comparable commitment to sustainability. For Aliaxis shareholders, first, our potential offer for Uponor would not be conditional on financing. We would be acquiring complementary skills and businesses to help accelerate our growth with purpose strategy, and we would be building strength in complementary segments such as hot and cold and surface heating and cooling. For the customers of both companies, we would have greater scope for investment in R&D, innovation, and capacities. We would have a more complete set of sustainable solutions. We would strengthen our route to market, and we would provide a more robust logistic network able to serve them better. For employees of both companies, it would mean being part of a true leading group, bringing solutions to the world's water challenges. And also there would be more career opportunities in a larger, more global group. For the planet overall, joining forces would allow us to achieve emissions reductions and sustainability targets faster. And for communities and society at large, we would build a group built to confront the world's water challenges. In conclusion, water is our most precious resource, and the world is facing huge challenges when it comes to water. Preserving water, accessing water, combating water scarcity, and managing floods. Aliaxis is more committed than ever to develop solutions for water management, access, and preservation. Our aim is to develop and bring solutions to market rapidly, efficiently, and globally. Together with Uponor, we would join forces to tackle the rising challenges around water and create a lasting, positive, and long-term impact. This is the reason we initially developed our Growth with Purpose strategy. This is also the reason why we're here today in Helsinki. A combination of our two companies makes business sense. We are the right fit, and this would benefit all our respective stakeholders. Kuhn mentioned that our potential offer would not be conditional on the availability of financing. And Kati told you about the resilience of our group and our performance in the current context. Our indicative all-cash offer price of 25 euros per share takes into account the prospects of our sector, as well as the operational performance of Uponor. Now, the board of directors of Uponor has the ability to facilitate the delivery of immediate and significant de-risk value to all of Uponor shareholders. And we stand ready to engage with Uponor's board and shareholders as soon as possible and to fulfill the other conditions for the effective launch of a tender offer to combine our two businesses. Thank you, and kiitos.
So thank you all for your attention and interest. We are now welcoming your questions. Kiitos osallistumistanne webcastimme ja kiinnostuksestanne Aliaxisia kohtaan. Otamme nyt vastaan kysymyksiänne.
I'll come in here between. And we have a few. The first one comes directly to you, Eric. Why are you not making an official tender offer at this time?
Well, we've previously approached the board of directors of Uponor with regard to a potential transaction, but we've not made the expected progress so far. Now, given that we crossed the 5% ownership threshold on Friday, we're required to disclose that fact by law. We have to disclose it. And rather than leaving the uncertainty in shareholders' minds of what our intentions were, we preferred to put our cards on the table and in a transparent manner. We believe in transparency and now look to re-engaging with Uponor's board of directors as well as receiving feedback directly from shareholders to make a successful launch of the offer successful. As mentioned in our intention release, we reserve the right to formally launch a tender offer at some point, and our decision is conditional on, in summary, and we mentioned, and I can just summarize real quick for you the four conditions. It's one, Uponor entering into a combination agreement with Aliaxis. Secondly, the board of Uponor recommending that Uponor shareholders accept the offer. They could make a recommendation. Third, Aliaxis being granted access to carry out a real customary, very limited due diligence. And finally, approval of the board of directors of Aliaxis based on the due diligence. Once those conditions are met, we're ready to go.
Do you want to say something about the reactions from the Uponor board so far, Kati, when you've approached them?
Yeah, well, a bit like Erik said, indeed. So we have been in contact, and but we have not made the type of a progress we were hoping for, and that's why we are here today. Also for the fact that we have crossed the 5% share ownership now on Friday. And like Erik said, also repeating, we are very open and very much hoping to re-engage with the board of Uponor as fast as possible to be able to discuss further.
Thank you. The next question is, you indicated you could move forward with a minimum acceptance threshold of 60%. How does that impact the level of synergies you anticipate from the potential combination?
Well, it's true because the synergies, the vast majority of the synergies are cross-selling synergies. These are two groups that could just work to each other's mutual benefit. We're prepared to deliver on our intention overall, should our conditions be met, and we can get to 60% of the outstanding shares of Uponor. It allows us to deliver on the identified growth synergies that we talked about. One thing I would say related to this is that Uponor as a company would be stronger and higher performing as a part of Aliaxis because the company itself would have access to these synergies. At the minimum level of 60%, we'd be fully prepared to work alongside Uponor's historical shareholder or us, who's a well-respected investor in industrial businesses. We'd be happy to work with them. The tie-up between Aliaxis and Uponor would build on the strong heritage of both firms, combining our depth of experience, R&D capabilities, as well as a greater commercial reach thanks to the strong complementary of our different regions and businesses. And also the potential offer would build an industrial platform of reference in the sector, reinforcing our respective positions globally and with a common sense of purpose overall. So yes, it could work even at 60%.
Thank you. Koen, a question concerning the timeline and also competition issues. How realistic is the Q3, Q4 timeline mentioned in the intention release? And are you expecting competition or antitrust issues? And where? So basically, three questions there.
Thank you. I'll try to address all elements
I'll
of
remind
that.
you.
So the potential offer, if made, could be completed during the third or fourth quarter of this year. Obviously, that would assume we make significant progress with the board of Uponor in the coming weeks. And as Eric mentioned, that all our conditions are met. Maybe to address, let's say, the second part of the question, we have done some analysis based on the information that is currently available on both Uponor and of course, on our own operations. And based on our operational review, based on the footprint we have currently, we believe that the regulatory clearance process would be straightforward. Especially given the limited overlap between Uponor and Aliaxis, as Eric mentioned as well before, both in terms of product and in terms of geographies.
So to be clear on antitrust and competition concerns, you're not expecting major ones?
No.
I think it's a very the core way to look at it is we make different products, basically. Uponor makes hot and cold and surface heating and cooling. We don't really do that at all. And what we do, they don't do. So you can say a country like the US, we have overlap, but we make completely different products. But when you put them together, we have a more compelling way to market overall. So in those circumstances, we don't expect any problems. It's one area. We're in infrastructure, they're in infrastructure, but they're in infrastructure in Scandinavia. We're not in infrastructure at all in Scandinavia. So we looked hard. We haven't gone through their numbers in detail, but we really don't expect any complications from a competition standpoint. This is a deal about growth, not around consolidation.
Thank you for clarifying that. Koen, one question about the financing. Can you please explain a bit more about the financing available for this deal?
Yeah, so as mentioned, our offer, if we make it, would not be conditional on the availability of financing. That means that we have fully committed financing in place today. So actually, if we want to move tomorrow, we could. And for some that know, we actually have specific sources of funding and debt out there. One of them is publicly traded debt. We are actually also rated by Moody's. And based on, let's say, this contemplated acquisition, if we would proceed with it, we are very confident that we will remain an investment-grade company. So I would say financing is fully committed and secured at this point. We can move as quickly as possible, and it will not impact Aliaxis' credit rating going forward.
You mentioned complementarity. You mentioned a strong drive for innovation. Looking at Uponor, which products in their portfolio are you most excited about?
I wouldn't say there's one. I think the part that is the most interesting about their business is what I think I mentioned it 4 times in my speech, but it's the hot and cold business, certainly, but also the surface heating and surface cooling, which are, those 3 together, which quite honestly is the core of what Uponor is, those 3. So what interests me most about Uponor is Uponor.
That's a clear question. Those are all the questions we've received from our audience. Do you want to say something to wrap us up?
Sure. Well, I'd just like to say thank you very much for your attention. We look forward to engaging with you, those of you who are shareholders of Uponor, and look forward to be able to answer any questions you may have. And I thank you very much for your attention today, and look forward to speak to you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Eric. And this concludes today's news conference. As mentioned earlier, all info and a recording of this news conference will be available on potentialoffer.aliaxis.com. Thank you, everyone, for your attention. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Kati. Thank you, Ko.